so I just saw Get Out, and like everybody else, I thought was a phenomenal horror film. Blasted awesome, blasted amazing. I'm not going to say that's my favorite horror film of this year, because this year just started out, and there's a lot of upcoming horror films I'm really interested in, like Alien Covenant and The Mummy, that look really good. But I will say this is probably for sure going to end up in my top 5 for the year. This movie was solid, and you haven't seen it, see it. Instant classic. I do want to review it, but I want to actually go into full detail. I want to review it fully. A lot of the reviews were very good, but nobody's gone into any detail because the movie is primarily about the mystery of what's going on. A lot of reviews want to keep that mystery hidden, but I found this movie so interesting that I want to talk about the whole movie, so I'm going to end up spoiling it all of it. So if you haven't seen the movie, don't watch this. I'm going to spoil the entire thing, okay? Entire thing spoiled by me. So Get Out is the first movie directed by Jordan Peele, famous comedian character here. First movie directed by him, and it's about a man, Chris, and Rose, who have been dating for a good 4 or 5 months. And Rose comes up with the bright idea that, my dog is in this, by the way. And Rose comes up with the bright idea that Chris should meet her parents. And Chris isn't all for this because they're actually an interracial couple. He's black and she's white. And he points out that her parents might not be down with this. And she's like, no, they'll be down with it. They're cool. So he decides to go along with it against his better judgment. And her parents seem kind of okay at first, but they seem to be too nice and to like him too much. And they keep emphasizing how great being black must be and how strong he must be being black, which seems really weird. First of all, they're so nice, it's like they're trying to make up for something bad that they did. And second of all, they assume that he's really strong because he's black. And it's kind of odd. But they're just a little odd until he bumps into the other black people in the town, the other people with the same skin color, and those people seem to be emotionally void and just really out of it in general. And he very soon realizes he has to live up to the title of the movie and get out. A lot of reviews of this movie have been stating that it's a satire and or a commentary on racism. And I think that's a bit misleading, and I think it makes the movie seem not as smart as it actually is. It's not really, it kind of is, but it's not really a commentary on racism as you think. No. This is not a movie where it's like racism is bad and here's why. That's not this movie. No, that's not the point of this movie. That's not what this movie was made to say. This movie was made to say, if you are not black, but you consider yourself an ally and you're trying to help out the black community, you might actually not be that good of an ally. You might actually be a bad person. You might actually be hurting the black community. And here's why. This is a movie that's supposed to make fun of and attack, kind of, the people that say they are allies but aren't really helping that much. That's who this movie's against. There are some people that say that they're allies and they really don't help. You know, I'm obviously not black. I'm pretty freaking white. But as you would know from my prior videos, I am queer. And I've bumped into people that say that they're allies of the LGBTQ community, and they're really not. Like, to give an example, F Hate, you know, that company, says they're allies of the queer community, and they care more about selling shirts. They really do. They're not that good of people. I'm just saying it like it is. And this movie is a movie against those types of people. The people that say they're allies and are just kind of screwing you over in some other way. The people in this movie never realize that they're racist. In fact, they come up with excuses for how they can't be. And they point out all these little things that means they can't be. And we kind of need that right now. If you bump into a racist, it doesn't matter what you say and what proof you bring about. They'll always remember that one single good thing they did that wasn't racist, and that'll somehow prove that they're not racist. One of the really interesting things that this movie does which a lot of reviewers haven't commented on, which really adds to the theme, and which really hammers home the idea that these are allies that are actually hindering, is that this community that's doing the iffy stuff to the black members of the community isn't all just straight white people. It's not. One of the neighbors in the community is an Asian man, and Rose, the primary woman character, is actually queer. It's lightly hinted at, not really that talked about, but the movie does point out that she's dated women in the past, so therefore she might very well be bi or pan. Actually, but big spoilers! I'm spoiling everything. Turns out in the end, she was actually just dating people to seduce them, to bring them back to the town so they could be manipulated and controlled. So she might have not actually been interested in anyone and could be asexual for all we know. Well, but still, she might be queer because she's dated a woman or two. So anyways, point is, the movie not only points out that some allies aren't helpful, but points out that some other people in groups that are typically mistreated and discriminated against could also be, bigots themselves. And the movie points this out by having a maybe queer character be a bigot themselves, and by having an Asian character be one of the bigot characters. So really hammers home the concept of, you think you're one of our allies, but maybe you're not. Maybe you're one of them. And it really hammers home that theme very well. And as a result, this movie isn't attacking like the KKK or the evilness of Trump. It's attacking that person who has that one black friend who tries to help them out by giving the worst conceivable advice. It's attacking that person, It's making fun of that person. And as a result, this movie might very well make a lot of people uncomfortable because it might very well be making fun of them, which, makes it controversial, makes it smart, makes it, a little groundbreaking. This isn't the type of film that Hollywood likes to do because it makes fun of the viewer. It's true. It's true. But that's not even the only theme this movie tackles. It's multi-themed. It also tackles the fear of isolation because the main character, Chris, feels completely alone in this community. If you've ever been to a party and you didn't know anyone there and you didn't know what to do, you felt how Chris feels throughout the whole movie. The whole movie feels this very awkward feel, like he's alone at a party. And also deals with the fear of the loss of control because it has to do with people being brainwashed and hypnotized. And that's a very primary fear. So if you don't relate to the themes on racism and allies not really being very good allies, you are going to relate to the themes on isolation and loss of control. Those are very universal themes. So I don't know how anyone couldn't relate to this movie. It was very relatable and very well made. And that's another thing some reviews haven't mentioned, how well this movie is made. It was well directed, well acted. It really knew how to use its score. Like, it knew when to use it, and it knew when to not use it. When to just let it be silent and let the scene take control. There was some parts where the song background music just stopped. And I haven't seen that in a long time. And it was really well done. And another really impressive thing about this movie is this is just such a massive love letter to 70s style conspiracy horror films like The Wicker Man, Stepford Wives, Rosemary's Baby, The Omen, all those movies. There was a lot of movies made in the 70s that were very conspiracy-like Invasion of the Body Snatchers, and those types of movies just aren't made anymore. And this was a massive love letter to 70s style conspiracy films. You could tell that Jordan Peele just loves those movies because this felt like it was literally cut and pasted, cut right out from the 70s. Like the guy built his own time machine and got in the time machine and traveled back to the 70s and stole somebody else's movie. And the guy's like, that's my movie! That's my movie! Just knocked him out and stole the movie and then took it to our time. That's not very cool. That Peele, you probably shouldn't beat people up to get their movies. But anyways, it paid off because it was a really good movie. Maybe you should go back in time and steal other people's movies. Anyways, it is a massive love letter to old school 70s horror. And if you like old school 70s horror, it is a phenomenal movie. Phenomenal for that. Phenomenal. He did a great job of recreating that feel. Great job. But yeah, I can't emphasize like enough how well directed and well filmed and well acted this is. It's just an all around great film. It really has no shortcomings. In fact, the only shortcomings have been made by how the film has been sold. There's several scenes in the trailer that aren't actually in the movie, so the trailers are a bit misleading, but that's not really the movie's fault. That's actually becoming a more and more common problem because they're releasing trailers more and more early before the movies are even done, so they don't even know what scenes are going to be in the movie. Stop doing that. Release the trailer after you're done making the movie. Okay, it's okay to release the trailer 2 or 3 months before it comes out. It doesn't have to be a whole year before it comes out. You guys are being ridiculous. Okay, that freaking Justice League trailer was atrocious. It was just people talking. You hadn't even filmed anything yet. Screw you. I'm getting off topic. Anyways, this movie was really solid, and I'm sure everyone that's been a little bit discriminated against, that's bumped into an ally that's like, oh, this person's going to help me out, and then realized maybe they aren't, can relate to this film to some sense. And yeah, this film does tackle a lot of stuff about racism, but I do think it's pretty universal too. And for a first-time director, this was really knocked out of the park. So I give this a 10 out of 10. It's a must watch. It is a fabulous movie. And by the way, the actual plot of this movie is that the black people are being kidnapped so the white people can put their brains inside the black people's bodies and thus live forever. They're actually kidnapping people to swap minds so they can live in other people's bodies and keep living. As for the reason why they're actually targeting only black people, I don't know. They're just targeting black people. As I said, the characters in this movie don't even realize that they're racist, so they don't even come up with a reason for it. They're just saying, well, we're targeting black people, but we're not really racist. We're just targeting them to target them, whatever reason. They come up with a silly excuse, and it's a silly excuse, and they still don't think they're racist at the end of the movie, even though they've been only attacking black people. That's how this movie works. Anyways, they're swapping minds, brainwashing people, and now the movie has been completely spoiled. I am not sorry. I hope you did see it before seeing this. And if you liked it, let me know. What are your thoughts on it? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks and cheers. And boy, do I want to see this guy direct again, because he did a grade A job. Oh, and P.S. What horror movie are you looking forward to this year? Because there's a lot of good ones. I want to hear some comments here. Lots of good movies coming up. Thanks. Cheers. Good night.